Great Expectations, Chapter 6, A Visit from Joe. One Monday morning, I got a letter from Biddy. My dear Mr. Pip, Mr. Gargery asked me to write. He is going to London and would like to see you. He will call for you on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Biddy. P.S. I hope you will see him, even though you are now a gentleman. You have such a good heart, and he is a worthy man. Joe would be here tomorrow. I did not want to see him. He did not fit in with my new life. If I could have kept him away, I would have. Biddy was wrong. My heart was anything but good. I got up early Tuesday morning to clean my newly decorated rooms. Soon I heard Joe on the stairs. I knew it was Joe by his clumsy walk. His boots were too big for him. I greeted Joe at the door. He was wearing his best suit, the one he only wore to weddings and funerals. He wiped his feet over and over on the mat. I thought I would have to lift him off it to stop him. Joe, how are you? I asked. Pip, how are you? He replied. His face glowed with happiness. He came in and put his hat on the floor. He took both my hands and shook them up and down as if I were a water pump. I am glad to see you, Joe, I said. Give me your hat. But Joe didn't want to part with his hat. He picked it up with both hands as if it were a bird's nest filled with eggs. He talked while awkwardly holding the hat. You've grown, said Joe. To be sure, you are an honor to your king and country. Joe's words made me feel uncomfortable. He wasn't acting like his old self. I introduced Joe to Herbert, who held out his hand. Joe backed away from it. He clutched his hat tighter. Your servant, sir, said Joe, bowing slightly. Do you take tea or coffee, Mr. Gargery? Asked Herbert. Thank you, sir, said Joe, stiff from head to foot. I'll have whatever you're having. How about coffee? Suggested Herbert. Thank you, sir, returned Joe, clearly unhappy with the choice. You are kind to offer, but don't you find coffee a little heating? How about tea, then? Asked Herbert, pouring it out. Joe put his hat on the mantel and sat down to breakfast. I was glad when Herbert left for work. Having the two of them at the same table made me nervous. I was impatient with Joe's ways, and I'm afraid he knew it. Now that we're alone, sir, began Joe. Joe, I interrupted, how can you call me sir? You're like a father to me. Now that we're alone, Joe began again, I can tell you that I have a message from Miss Havisham. Miss Havisham? I asked with surprise. Estella is home and would be glad to see you. I felt my face grow hot. If I had known Joe had this message for me, I would have been kinder to him, I'm sure. Joe stood and picked up his hat. I wish you well and hope you prosper to greater and greater heights, he said. But where are you going? Aren't you coming back for dinner, Joe? I asked. No, I am not, he said. Pip, dear old chap, life has parted us. I'm wrong in these clothes. I'm wrong out of the forge and away from the marshes. You and me should not be together in London. God bless you, dear old Pip. God bless you. Joe put his hat on, then he touched me gently on the forehead and left.